Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special edition of Danvers Daily. Tonight, we'll be joined by the coach of the varsity basketball team in Danvers and the junior varsity team, Dave Chisholm and Scott Chairs. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. It's a pleasure to have you in the studio tonight.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
So we're just going to start off by saying it was a great season, finishing 19-2. I know it was a tough loss in the first round against Mansfield, so we're going to start off with just that recent loss. What are some of the things you guys learned after losing such a close game?
You got to play 4 quarters. So it was nip and tuck the entire way. The girls played great, and it just came down to ultimately a couple missed shots here or there or misplayed plays, I guess.
And having such a great season, what were kind of some of the things you enjoyed most about it? Can be kind of about a single game, or it can be kind of an overall sense of the season. What are the things you enjoyed most about coaching such a well-coached group of girls so far this season?
I think they came into the season expecting a lot, and they delivered on it. So we came in focused, and probably the best was our first win over Masco. Obviously, with the success we had, there was a lot of first wins in a while for many years over teams, and I think the Masco win for a lot of the girls, myself, it really started the season and showed the girls that we could do something special.
And Scott, I'm going to ask you a question about the junior varsity team this season. What were some of your favorite moments with those players? I know it's not always the same players who are on varsity who are on JV. Sometimes there can be some overlap, but what were some of the things you enjoyed most about coaching junior varsity this season, and some of the things that you learned most about that team?
The way the girls competed and worked throughout the season. We had 2 sophomores, 7 freshmen. I was familiar with a few of the freshmen because I had coached them in middle school before, so you were hoping that I didn't ruin their basketball experience coming in because that was my first year. And then the 2 sophomores were our captains, Danny and Sophia, and they did a wonderful job leading and bringing the girls along with them as opposed to just doing their own thing and trying to push their own agenda. And then we had 3 newbies, Avery, Evelyn, and Emma, who brought a lot to the program, not just on the basketball court and their work ethic, but their personalities and how they came and not just fit in, but became part of our basketball family program.
And building off of that, when you guys have a junior varsity and a varsity team, as most towns do, what is the relationship like between the players on varsity and junior varsity? Are they talking with each other a lot? Are they hanging out with each other a lot? What's it like?
So this is a credit to Dave Chisholm and Dave Anderson, who right now is off camera. Excuse me. They've built a program, and it's not about varsity JV. It's all encompassing to the warm-ups, to the bags, to how they treat each other. We actually start practices together, and it's a program, right? And in my opinion, that's how if you want to build a successful program and have girls buy in, that's how you do it.
And building a successful program, as something you guys did this season, having such a tremendous season, what are the goals going into next season so you guys can make it past that first round and keep moving on in the MIA playoffs? Because obviously that's the goal.
Yeah, I think the girls now believe that we can compete with the better teams in our area, and I believe they now truly believe that they can, win games that maybe they would have went into going, I don't like our chances, we're going to compete. But this year it kind of was a buy-in from everybody, and we have, although we're going to lose, 3 big seniors, we have a good returning class and hope to see some of the JV team, some of those players also coming up and helping out at the varsity level.
Speaking of the seniors, I'm going to build off of that. What is your advice to some of the seniors now as they head off to college or maybe trades? I'm not sure what everyone's doing. What is some of the advice for some of the seniors you guys coached as they now head off into college, into a new phase of life?
Yeah, well, we're pretty lucky. We have one of our seniors, Angie Joko, is actually going to continue her basketball career. She's going to Trinity College, and she'll be playing there. Our other senior, Lila Flynn, is playing collegiate softball at Worcester State. And our third senior, Kata Brown, she has an opportunity. She's still looking at schools, and she has opportunity to play at the next level as well. So I think it's important that you have a player that was recruited in Angie, you have a person that's playing another sport in college, and then you have another senior that was kind of found, and a college coach reached out to her and saw her play a game. So it's kind of all 3 dynamics to show other students and other players that you can do it from a public school.
And Scott, I got a question for you now. So the players who are on JV, a lot of them eventually want to make that jump and be on the varsity team. What are your advice to some of the freshmen and sophomore who eventually want to probably make that jump to varsity, and what can they do when they're on junior varsity to make those strides forward?
Well, we have multi-sport athletes, which is fantastic, and we never discourage that. But when they get a moment to get a basketball in their hand, maybe just dribble around the house, maybe get some shots up at a park, and just, work as an athlete, getting stronger, quicker, get into a personal training routine if you have one. I think that would be really beneficial for all of them.
And one question here that I was kind of looking through my list is kind of a positive note here. What did it feel like clinching that NEC championship, that regular season championship, winning the conference? What did that feel like?
I think for us as coaches, right, you don't do it for the money or the accolades, but at the same time, you're working with your team from the Monday after Thanksgiving till, 2 weeks ago. So to see them experience the highs and the lows, and then to have a championship that you can celebrate with them, I think was the biggest thing for me, knowing how hard they worked, especially the senior class. This is my fourth year, so they were freshmen when we came in, and we talked about team goals and program goals, and here we are 4 years later, and we're looking at each other going, this is what we talked about, and they laid it on the line, and they were successful and got that championship.
Yeah, I think also one of the things he preached was winning the quarter, right? So there's 4 quarters to every game, and there's going to be ebbs and flows, and the girls did a tremendous job, in my opinion, in buying into that mentality. So we go into a game, and we looked at it as like 4 parts, and do you want to lose a quarter? No, but if you do, hopefully you got a quarter or 2 left in you to get the best out of you. And they just battled all year long. And to see, because pressure mounts, and we have respect for every team we were playing, and that's why we play the games. You have no preconceived notion of winning, but, if we lay it all out there, we got a shot. And I think against Revere, when that final buzzer sounded, big sigh of relief, but also a lot of smiles because the girls did something special.
And one last question for both of you. It can kind of be for JV and varsity and the whole team and all the girls themselves, but how do you want this team and how do you want this group of girls to be remembered from this season specifically?
Well, record-wise, the best that there's been, so they should be very proud of that accomplishment. But just overall, great kids, great student athletes, great representation of the town of Danvers, and they kind of changed the culture. We've gotten younger girls that now want to be basketball players in town. I hate to say it, we're a soccer town, but now there's girls at the youth level that want to be the next Kata Brown, next Angie Joko, next Lila Flynn. We have even our underclassmen that are still going to be playing next year. It's the Sienna Lynches, it's the Annabelle Boyds, Kendall Murphy, Stella Shears, Avery Burrell. Those are those varsity players, Sienna Goldberg, that now when they come in and they get to that gym and they see them playing, it's, the girls don't appreciate it. And I tell them, like, you're leading the example for the people that, hopefully we're going to coach in the future.
And on that, yeah, the standard was set by those 3 seniors, and Dave had alluded to it earlier. They came in as freshmen. They talked about, this could be special. It's going to take work. And I would say take that, the standard and the leadership that they had, and carry that on with them to the next chapter. And I love their chances.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. In just a couple of minutes, all the girls will be here. We'll have some questions for them. But that was everything for the coaches. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.